Bava Basra General Introduction. Bava Basra, literally the last gate, is the third tractate of Seder Nezikin, literally damages, the group of tractates known as the Bavas, Bava Kama, Bava Metzia, and Bava Basra, are, according to the Amor Rav Yosef, not really three separate tractates, but three parts, each consisting of 10 chapters of a single large tractate called Nezikin. See Bava Kama Gemara 102a and see Rambam Teshuvos 2a. Together, these tractates define most of the Torah's civil law, damages, legal proceedings, personal liabilities and responsibilities, and property rights and transactions. Bava Basra deals mainly with the last two of these categories, property rights and transactions. The majority of the tractate deals with monetary laws that are related to real estate, such as houses, courtyards, fields, and orchards. Many laws that apply to real estate are different from those that apply to movable properties. One example of this is found regarding the laws of kinyan, legal acquisition of property. While movable properties are generally acquired through the buyers lifting them, hagbaha, or pulling them into one's property, meshicha, real properties are acquired through the buyers paying money, kesef, the seller writing a document of sale, shtar, or the buyer performing an act to improve or safeguard the property, kinyan hazaka. These laws, as well as many other laws that govern the sale of both real estate and movable properties, are discussed in Mishnahs throughout the tractate. The tractate's discussion of the laws of real estate also include the many laws that apply to the relationships between partners who own such property together, as well as neighbors who live next to one another. In this introduction, we will present an overview of the main topics covered in each chapter. More details are provided in the opening Mishnahs and chapter introductions, where applicable, of each chapter. The first chapter of the tractate deals mainly with partnerships in real estate and with the obligation for neighbors to respect one another's privacy. The chapter also discusses when and how partnerships can be dissolved by one of the partners and responsibilities of partners to pay for the safeguarding of shared properties. The second chapter discusses limits placed on the owner of a property so that he will not damage the property or restrict the rights of his neighbors. The third chapter discusses the laws of the 3-year chazaka, which gives the occupier of a property for 3 years, without protest from the last previously known owner, the right to claim that he is the present owner, even if he cannot produce a bill of sale. The chapter also teaches which uses of a person's property can establish a chazaka, granting him the right to continue those uses permanently, in spite of inconvenience to partners or neighbors. The central chapters of the tractate, 4 through 6, discuss what is included in standard sales of various properties and what is assumed not to have been included unless specified. This discussion is divided into 2 sections, one regarding real estate, chapter 4 and the end of chapter 6, and the other concerning movable items, chapter 5 and the beginning of chapter 6. Chapter 5 also teaches various laws concerning when a sale is complete, when a sale can be voided, and laws pertaining to accuracy in weights and measures. The 7th chapter deals primarily with laws concerning the proper measurement of real property that is sold. The 8th and 9th chapters deal with the laws of inheritance. The Mishnah teaches the order of inheritance defined by the Torah, and the laws that define the ability of a person to distribute his property to his heirs. The Mishnah also discusses the special laws of deathbed wills. The final chapter of the tractate deals with the laws of legal documents, including how they are to be drawn up, how to resolve contradictions within a document, how to deal with erasures, damaged documents, and partially paid documents. The end of the chapter deals with the legal responsibilities of one who guarantees a loan, and the liens created by loan documents. Linear and land measurements. The Mishnahs of this tractate contain many measurements, both linear measurements and measurements of land area. The Mishnah expresses linear measurements in terms of amos and tefachim, and land measurements using the kav, se'ah, and kor. The modern equivalent of these measurements will depend on the various opinions regarding the length of a tefach, so as not to burden the student with multiple notes giving a range of equivalents to every time the Mishnah gives a measure. So as not to burden the student with multiple notes giving a range of equivalents every time the Mishnah gives a measure, we have simply transliterated the Mishnah's term in most cases. An appendix in the back of this volume contains charts that provide the range of the modern English and metric equivalents for the majority of the measurements that appear in the tractate.